Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at some yes or no questions that have to do with more groups. These groups will be looking at military and other violent organizations. They're questions number 6 and number 8 on your U.S. citizenship application. So some important vocabulary words you need to know are weapon. And what is a weapon? It's a knife or gun. I hear a lot of times in interviews, officers ask, have you ever had weapons training? The applicant says no. The officer says, do you know what weapons are? The applicant says yes. Then the officer may ask, what is a weapon? Because they want to make sure you know what a weapon is. So to make sure you understand what they are asking. I hear this question a lot, so it would be very important to know the definition. So when they say, what is a weapon? You say, a knife or a gun. Knife or a gun. Also, explosive. Explosive. That word means like a bomb. Kidnapping. Kidnapping. So if you kidnap someone, you take them and you force them to go with you. So the person does not want to go with you, but you grab them and you take them with you. That would be kidnapping. Some more vocabulary words to know. Assassination. Assassination is killing someone important. Like in the United States, we've had a few presidents, like President Lincoln, President Kennedy, people who had been assassinated. Hijacking is taking control of a plane by force. There's a 100 question about this. It asks, what happened on September 11th, 2001? The answer, terrorists attacked the United States. So hijacking, and that was when the terrorists, they took over the plane and they crashed it into a building. Last word for you to know, sabotage. Sabotage, like in this picture, is to destroy something on purpose. So if you're sabotaging something, you are destroying it. All right, now let's look at this question on your citizenship application and be prepared for how they'll ask it in a citizenship interview. It's a long question, so it's going to be in 2 parts. The question, it starts as, have you ever been a member of or involved in or in any way associated with, or have you ever provided money, a thing of value, services or labor, or any other assistance or support to any groups who've done the following? So have you provided any of those things to a group that used a weapon or explosive with intent to harm another person, cause damage to property? Your answer? No. Have you provided any of the following things to any groups that engaged in kidnapping, assassination, or hijacking, or sabotage of an airplane, ship, or vehicle? No. Have you ever provided any of those following things to a group that threatened, attempted, conspired, prepared, planned, advocated for, or incited others to commit any of these acts? No. Sometimes, instead of asking all of these questions, an officer may just ask you, have you ever been a part of any terrorist organization? And what would you say? No. Officers might ask the questions like they are listed on the application, or they have the freedom to ask it in a different way. These questions, they're really trying to ask about any sort of terrorist activities and your involvement in terrorist activities or any groups that could be associated with terrorist activities. Now let's look at question number 8A and the words you need to know. Military unit. Military unit are the soldiers who fight for the government. So they may be the Army, Navy, or the Air Force of a country. Like, look at this picture. We see United States soldiers. It's very important you understand what the military is. This is another question I see a lot in interviews. Officers want to make sure you know what military means. So what is a military? Good. Say a soldier. That would be correct. People who fight for their country. Good. Army, Navy, Air Force. All of those would be correct answers. Another word? Police unit. We can see in the pictures here. What are they? They are police. Police is a group that enforces the law and stops crime. So those are the police. This is how they ask questions about military and police on your citizenship application. They say, have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, helped, or participated in any of these groups? A military unit. No. A police unit. No. So if your officer asks, have you ever been in the military or the police? You would say, no. If they ask, what is the military? You'd say, soldiers, someone in the army, people who fight for their country. All of those examples would show you understand the question. What about paramilitary unit? That is a group of people who they act like a military, but they are not the official military. So they act like they are a soldier, but they are not officially a soldier for the country. Another important vocabulary term, self-defense unit. So again, it's a group who uses weapons to protect people and who want to fight for the government. But they are not an official group of the government. So paramilitary and self-defense unit. The important thing to remember, these are people who use weapons to fight to protect the government. About a vigilante group. It's a group that acts like the police, but is not the police. So they do not have the power of the police. But again, it's a group of people who uses weapons to fight. Rebel group. Guerrilla group. They are people who fight against the government with weapons. So important. These are all these groups, they use weapons to fight for the government or they fight against the government. So how the question is asked on your citizenship test, it says, have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any armed group, so a group that carries weapons like a gun or a knife. Like, have you ever been in a paramilitary unit, a self-defense unit, a vigilante unit, a rebel group, a guerrilla group? You'd say no. See? No. If they ask you, what is a rebel group or a guerrilla group, you'd say soldiers who fight against the government. Again, the answer, soldiers who fight against the government. And last question to review, if they ask this during your U.S. citizenship interview, what is a military unit? You'd say soldiers who fight for the government. Good job. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.